I know you guys heard that, but Austin's feeling way better, and he looks better too. So
Feel
let's
way
get
better.
into it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's get it.
we're back. Austin Oli, a sports podcast, but more importantly, who gives a shit that we're back? Football is back. The NFL is back, full swing. Cowboys are on pace to not give up any points and score a lot of points, and it's probably going to stay like that for a while. Get to that, talk some NFL games, a big chunk of NFL games, college football. Hitting the ground running. That was a fun, exciting weekend. Rangers might be back, just like UT, I think.
Hey, hold on now.
Um,
Maybe.
I'm new to this UT thing, but they say we're back or they're back, or whatever. So I think the Rangers are back too.
Yeah.
And we'll dive into that. Some Rangers, some baseball, a little bit more NFL. But someone here is undefeated in fantasy, and someone here lost.
All right. Hey, hold on.
I'll let you take it from here.
No, all right. Look. I gotta defend myself because,
Yeah, go ahead.
like, how were you supposed to expect that Aaron Rodgers was gonna, blow his Achilles out 4 plays into the game?
You should have known that.
I guess that's on me. I should have had Zach Wilson or something. I don't know, but yeah, man, unfortunate loss. One game doesn't define you. I'm gonna take the Giants, take a page of the Giants playbook, and say, one game doesn't define you. It's the start of a very long season, so I'm not worried about it. I mean, I'm sure I'll wax you later on in the year. So it's, I just gotta work the kinks out of the team. That's all it is.
Yeah, no. I'll try to explain to the viewers a little bit our situation. I thought it was done and dusted.
Yeah, I did too. I thought I
Drake
had it
London
though.
drop a goose egg, and I had 2 players going into Monday Night Football. I had the kicker and the Jets defense, and obviously Jets defense did pretty well. But I was just like, I don't think I'm gonna do this. I was behind, I think, 15 points. I was like, I need a stinker.
It was 15,
Aaron
and then I
Rodgers.
had Aaron Rodgers coming up, and I felt pretty confident. And I think that if Aaron Rodgers would have played the whole game, I think I would have been all right, because I don't think at the end of the game the Jets would have got that pick 6 to win the game, and it's like the whole deal. So Aaron Rodgers really, really screwed me over. So
No, yeah, I was like, I need a miracle right now. Like, I mean, it's fantasy, it's look. Clearly, we did not know that Aaron Rodgers was gonna get hurt, but like, you take your wins when you can. So I'm taking it. I'm running with it. I'm happy, but I was like, I don't think I can do this. I was like, fuck. Unless Tyler Bass got some good points too, and so did the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets. Yeah, and it ended up being like a lot worse than it should have been, because I got no points from a quarterback this week. So
yeah, I was like, I got home from the gym, try to turn the game on, can't find the controller, and my group chat is spamming Aaron Rodgers.
oh yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, what just happened? What just happened? I turn around, controller, he's on the bench getting carted out, and I'm like, dude, this is so good. So yeah, you did
what does
not
that say
beat
about
me,
you?
so it's okay.
What does that say about you? A horrible person. Rooting for somebody to blow out their
Whoa,
Achilles.
whoa! See,
That's a horrible person. That's crazy.
It just mattered that it just happened to happen. And look, the Cowboys are going to strive with it, hopefully next week. But what do? You don't have to play your kryptonite. Fine by me. Play Zach Wilson, because obviously I guess it's his team. No?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it kind of has to be his team, which for better or for worse. I mean, for the Cowboys, for better. So
yeah, we'll get into that soon. But what'd you do this weekend, bro? What's popping? What you got going on?
Yeah, man. Went to the TCU game on Saturday. Tailgated that.
Better outcome,
better
hopefully.
result. Yeah, better outcome. So it was a lot of fun. Had the trailer out there. Had a
Oh,
whole
yeah.
deal. Yeah. So yeah, man. Did a little bit of that, and then other than that, power was out at the apartment for a whole 2 days. So that was pretty
2
sweet.
days with no power?
Yeah, no power. So got to throw everything out of the fridge. Had to deal with Encore, had to do all that stuff. So it was
sucks.
yeah, and then coming home from like the game, it was late, it was hot, like you just want to get in, like feel that refreshing like cold air,
AC,
and you walk in and the AC's out, smacks you in the face. It's like 90 degrees in the apartment. Like I got my fridge is like leaking from everything that was like melted. It was a mess.
So it went out Saturday night or sometime Saturday?
It went out Friday night. It went out Friday night with those big storms. I guess
I wasn't here, so yeah.
So yeah, we had some big storms on Friday night. So power went out Friday night, and then just like never. It came on for our building, but I guess it like broke our meter, like the electrical meter or whatever. So ended up being out a whole nother like 36 hours almost than what everybody else's was. So
God,
it was a brutal brutal thing to deal with it this weekend. So
God, man.
yeah,
There's
man. What
two
about you?
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two things I don't prey on my enemy. AC being out in the midst of summer. Hey, at least it's going away, I think, here in Texas. And
Yeah, I know,
two,
right?
for a 40-year-old quarterback to tear their Achilles on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, brother. I just got hit with all of it. And really, AC finally came back on like Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
We got to the grocery store. We got back by, the first quarter. It was already 21-0, or I think it was like 17-0 or whatever it
Yeah.
was. And I got back in. Got to catch the game. Game made me feel better, and then just get kicked one more time while I was down with Aaron Rodgers, and went 0-3 in fantasy this weekend. It was a mess.
0-3. I went 2-1. I was happy. I was
Yeah,
happy
it
with
was
my
a mess.
performances.
I
scratched them off. I was up by 2 points going into Monday Night Football, and I had the Jets defense, so I decided to bench my defense. So I didn't play with the defense because I was scared. I just didn't know.
That's understandable. That's understandable.
Did the smart move. I was like, you know what?
Yeah,
a win's a
it's
win.
a guaranteed win.
I'm not going to risk it.
Guaranteed win.
I'm not going to risk it.
No, week 1, you don't need to risk it. You don't need the points.
Exactly. So I won like 90-88. Probably shouldn't have won, but it's okay. And then I had, in my other league, I dropped 122 with the Cowboys defense on my team. And I lost by 30.
Cooked. That's crazy.
I could have played 8 other people in that league, and I would have won.
That's brutal. That's so tough. Yeah, no, yeah. we added like that. My other league with like some of my friends from college, we added that like where you play a matchup against like the league median or whatever. That way, like if something like that happens, you're not like getting screwed. Because I know there's been so many years where I've been like top 3 in points, but I've been 2-12 or something like that.
It's just the matchup. Like, that's fantasy.
Yeah,
for
it's
you,
the
bro.
matchup. Yeah, and so I'm so fed up with that kind of BS. Like to where you just like you're a top scoring team and you just have like you're not rewarded for it. You know what I mean? So
it's tough.
Yeah, but man, your weekend, how was that?
It was fun, man. Like you guys paid attention a little bit to that, but I wasn't here. I left Wednesday night to Cali. That was fun. I love Cali. I don't know about you, but I just love California. If I could live out there,
California's
I would.
A good time.
Just expensive. But I was there for my nephew's first birthday. That was exciting.
Cool.
It was fun. See him, give him his gifts. We took him to Disneyland.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, I don't know about your opinion on that. Taking like little kids to Disneyland because they're Disney World, whatever. It's like
I've never been, but like you take them.
Never
I guess
been?
are
Really?
they gonna? Yeah, never been. But like, are they
Even
ever?
as a kid?
Are they gonna remember? No, never.
Your parents must hate you. Nah, I'm just.
I went to the World Series. I can't be like too mad about it.
Oh,
so.
my bad.
Yeah, hey.
Beggars can't be choosers, bro.
I did. Yeah, beggars can't be choosers.
Wait, what World Series game were you at?
Game 4, 2011. Derek Holland pitched to Jim. I think it was 4-0 against the Cardinals.
They won?
Yeah, they won.
Okay, good. I was going to say, if you were at a game where they lost, I wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah, a funny thing is, Emily and I were had this exact conversation on Sunday. And it was like, I had said the same thing. I was like, I can't complain. I've been to World Series. And she's like, oh, what game were you at? And then I got the game wrong. So I know all the information now.
Like you're like, it would have been the game where they smacked us and like Albert Pujols got like 3 home runs. That would have been the game that you were at.
Yeah, I know. Hey, luckily I was there for a win. So it was good.
But yeah, weekend was fun. Disney was fun. I was there from open to close. My leg, I don't know how I was walking. I kid you not. I think I was walking with my eyes closed. I was so tired, bro.
Yeah, just dog tired. Oh, yeah, that's
so
what I
tired.
can imagine. Just all the walking and then just, like, doing everything. And
it
was probably hot, too, because, like, ugh.
Yeah, for Cali people, it was hot. They were like, dude, like, this is hot. It was, like, 91 degrees. I was like, dude, it feels amazing.
That's a little
right
cold
now.
Front. That's a little cold front.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, come on, guys. And then Saturday was the birthday party. Caught some college football, some UFC, too.
Oh, yeah.
And then Sunday, I was able to watch the 12 o'clock games, or 10 o'clock over there on Red Zone. And then I got on the flight back home during the 3:30 games. And I got home right in time for the Cowboy game. So,
right in time for a good evening.
Saw a massacre on live TV.
But I guess, speaking of the Cowboys game, you want to go ahead and get into the NFL and get into a little bit of the Cowboys and all that stuff?
Let's do it, bro. I'm excited. Let's do it.
Yeah, I know, right? It's great. Victory, I guess in our case, Victory Tuesday. Cowboys had a big 40-0 win over the New York Giants. The New York Giants, the only team in the entire league, after talking all this shit over the entire offseason, the only team in the entire league hasn't scored any points. Very clearly, defense played lights out. have a couple stats here. 10 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, 2 defensive or a defensive touchdown, so a pick six, and then by Deron Bland, and then special teams, blocked kick for a return touchdown, forced 5 fumbles, had 2 picks, hit Daniel Jones 12 times, and then
My
had
God, bro.
eight passes deflected. So I don't know, man. That was probably the most dominant defensive performance that I've seen by a Cowboys team in a very long time. And I remember the days like pre Dan Quinn, right, where like I guess that was Jason Garrett days where like our defense was absolutely atrocious. And then to see this and like to see like we took out our entire starting defensive line and we were still getting sacks. And like we were like Daniel Jones just was getting thrown around like a rag doll.
I don't know why they kept him in for so long.
I'm surprised he didn't get hurt. I'm surprised he didn't pull an Aaron Rodgers. It's just like it was crazy. I don't know. I mean, like just some of the stuff that like they were just Evan Neal, the Giants' right tackle, just looked absolutely atrocious. And I was like sitting in bed, like watching the game, and I was just laughing because like, oh, there was another forced fumble, or like, oh, another sack, and then I was just like,
I know,
like,
bro.
what is this?
Caught me off guard by like a lot. Like when we talked about the spread, it opened up at 3.5, I think, towards the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I told you, I knew our defense. I wasn't scared of our defense. I wanted to see our offense, how they would perform with the new West Coast offense and stuff like that under our new OC and then Mike McCarthy.
Schottenheimer,
Schottenheimer and all that stuff. And we still weren't able to see that yet. I don't know when it's going to be tested. I don't know if it'll be tested next week against the Jets.
Yeah,
but
I think
we weren't able to see much.
I saw. I think it was McCarthy or Schottenheimer. One of the. I think it was Schottenheimer. Was like like we didn't show a lot because we didn't have to. So like Dak's stat line wasn't really great. I think he had like 100-something passing yards, no TDs, but like he didn't need to do anything.
17 passes maybe.
Yeah, like it wasn't necessary. So like whenever our offense like doesn't have to do anything and we still score 40 points, sure, that's fine with me. I'm not too worried about it in the slightest. And so yeah, I don't know. I was pretty excited by the defense. It was just like it was nice to have that energy, and you can tell like they were excited. Like there was so much. I mean, it's obviously the Cowboys and so much media coverage where people are like, oh, Dak threw another interception in training camp, or the defense is like talking shit to Dak, like Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons are like snapping at him in training camp. Like at the end of the day, like it just shows like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like they're one team. Like they were just ready to like actually compete and get after somebody else.
Yeah. How glad were the Cowboys that they could play a different team that wasn't their defense? They had to play these guys all summer. Can we even blame Dak for being whatever batter? You couldn't be able to run plays. Like, dude, you got to face Michael Parsons every single snap. Like, dude, you
can't even get reps in. You can't even get reps in when you're playing somebody like that. He pisses you off,
like in a good way. You could be like, Micah, can you please, like, please, like, let's run this play.
Go hang out.
Let's run this play, please.
Don't do anything. Don't do anything.
So I bet offense was super excited to play a different team that wasn't the Cowboys defense, and it just shows you how damn good they are.
Yeah, no, and I think that we have a special defense. And I think that New York, the Giants they'll be all right. They'll be a good team. I mean, they have talent around them, but I think it shows that there's levels, and there still is levels. And I think the Cowboys are one of those teams that like, I don't want to. I'm not gonna like get too high on a horse. It's week 1. It could have just been, it was a rainy game. It could be a lot, but like this could be a special team. But you got to play a couple more weeks to kind of figure out if this is a special team or not. Offense has to win you a game whenever they need to, and it just shows like on the defensive side can win you a game, and they've proven it already. But you got to keep that up when you play a top tier quarterback like I guess who we're gonna see. I guess really when it comes to the Eagles, right? Like that's when you kind of gonna need to see if we can make plays. But yeah, man. One of the people that I really wanted to highlight that I was like really really impressed by, and it felt like he was just always around the ball, was Marquise Bell. He had 8 tackles in the TFL. If you guys don't know who Marquise Bell is, he's an undrafted free agent guy would have been last season. So this is his second year in the NFL. He's from Florida A&M. And he originally was a safety, played safety all throughout college. And then during training camp this year, the Cowboys transitioned him to a linebacker because we were really low on depth in linebackers. And, I don't know what it was, and I'm sure you can. I think you and I kind of talked about it. Like just anywhere the ball was, like he was there, and like you would have never known that he was somebody that like really has never played linebacker and I was just extremely, extremely impressed with the young man and how well he performed.
Yeah, led the team in tackles, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he led team in tackles. And just to make that kind of impact as an undrafted free agent and to come in and just like basically start. I mean, he was on the field for the majority of the time. Like it was just a super impressive performance and something that's like it's a lot of promise, and I'm really excited to see kind of where he goes the rest of the season.
Yeah, and talking about our new guys, I even
Yeah.
forgot his last name. The guy we traded Kelvin Joseph with. He's the guy that got
Oh yeah,
the kick, the stop, the blocked
yeah,
field goal,
yeah. So I couldn't
blocked
figure out
field
how to
goal. Yeah,
pronounce his name.
and he
Say
makes that
yeah,
that down the field block too, where he just keeps going and he leads the blocking to get the touchdown. That's what I
yeah.
loved from him.
It's
That
just
he just didn't
and
stop.
yeah, I really think it was just like a full team performance. Speaking about some of the other new guys, what do you think of like Stephon Gilmore, Brandon Cooks, Mozzie Smith, stuff like that?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I didn't see much of Mozzie Smith. I guess because they really
Yeah,
weren't running the
I really didn't see
ball. So like,
anything. I really didn't see
yeah,
anything much either. I don't think he's really going to play a lot. He's still trying to figure it out behind like
yeah,
Jonathan Hankins and stuff like that. So I didn't really notice much of him. I know I did see Jonathan Hankins and OC Odigizua, I think is how you say
yeah.
it. I saw him. I
Hmm.
saw both of them, and they both kind of play, that nose slash D tackle position, and I saw them make a lot of plays. So I mean, when they're making plays, you don't have to worry about it. But Mozzie is kind of more that run stuffer kind of type that we didn't really have to see because they didn't really run the ball because they were down so quickly.
Yeah.
But what about like Stephon Gilmore, Brandon Cooks, anything like that?
Oh yeah, Stephon Gilmore. I mean, got the pick. That was
Yeah,
a great pick by him, just athleticism. And I saw a stat. I think whenever they threw his way, I think he gave up like a 12 QBR if they
yeah,
would have just kept throwing his way. That's what he did. Like they were just staying
yeah,
away from him. I mean, we heard the praise from all the corners and receivers just during mini camp and stuff like that,
yeah,
OTAs, and they're just like, he knows what I'm gonna do. Like while I'm standing there before we even snap the ball, he knows what I'm doing. Like his IQ is
yeah.
just crazy in the game, and like how low we got him for. What it was like was it a 5th or 6th round pick?
I think it was a sixth, if I'm correct.
Something like that. Yeah, which
It's
is
like a
crazy to
sixth
me.
or a conditional fifth. That could be a 6.
Hmm.
Yeah, but like
Yeah. So no.
I
Yeah.
thought
I
he
mean,
was.
great
Yeah,
performance by him, and then Brandon Cooks got open a few times. We
yeah,
saw Dak lean his way in a couple of like third downs, some in that slot position, and got a couple receptions, like 3 or 4.
yeah. It was like 3 or 4. I don't think you can make too much of his performance this week, just
Yeah.
because like I said, I mean, we didn't really have to throw the ball that much, but like Stephon Gilmore, I think that I could kind of notice that he was all over the field. And obviously, I mean, Trey Diggs is a number one corner, and I think Gilmore is too. And then last year I was like really, really high on Deron Bland, and I thought that he would be a really
Yeah.
good like slot corner. And then I mean, look at
Hmm.
him. I mean, now you have 2 number ones that can play on the outside, and then you have let Deron Bland kind of play that like nickel, that like third corner that's on the field covering slot guys. And I think that that's somebody that he's really going to succeed, and has the pick 6. So obviously, it's working out. Some of the moves that they're making are working out, which is really, really nice and promising to see, because we haven't always seen the best best roster decisions and stuff like that from like Jerry and Steven Jones. So it's exciting, and it's a lot of promise. Don't want to get too high, don't want to get too low. It's week 1, there's still a lot of ball left, but it's exciting to see, and want to kind of see it continue the rest of the season.
For sure. And then keeping with the new guys, the one last guy, Brandon Aubrey, didn't have the best start to
Yeah.
the game. Obviously missing the PAT. But I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt that he definitely was not ready to hit a PAT. If you think about it, he's probably chilling on the bench.
And just sudden
Field
change.
goal is like, okay, I'm about to come up here in a little bit. Blocked field goal, take it to the crib, and then go, okay, field goal unit, go out there. And he's just like, wait, right now?
Yeah. And his
So
first
I can't,
like,
and
in his
it's
first
raining
PAT.
too.
Yeah.
But you could tell, like, as the game progressed, this was the game for
He
him to
settled
get
in,
confident in, and just like
Absolutely.
he seemed fine. He looked chill up there, barely putting in any power in his kicks and stuff like that. So he may never miss again. And obviously
hey,
the
come
front
on,
office loves
come
him.
on. Yeah. Did you
This might
see?
be
Did you
the
see
jinx
Jerry
of the week.
Jones? Did you see Jerry Jones' comments about him I think it was on the Fan today
Oh, what do you say?
or yesterday? It was like he was talking about Brandon Aubrey, and like after the first PAT, he was like talking to Steven. He's like, "You don't know how to kick. You still don't know how to pick a kicker." and was like talking shit. And then later on in the night, he's like, "Ah, I knew you knew how to pick a kicker. Like you did good." And he
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
and it was and I think the special teams coordinator was like kind of explaining, giving him like a little leeway on that first missed PAT, and it was like they hadn't really practiced like sudden changes like that, like after an interception or a pick six. So like you said, like he just wasn't ready, and for that to be his first like official like regular season, like it actually matters PAT, like he just wasn't ready for it. So
Yeah.
I think after that first PAT, after he missed, they sat, talked about it, said like, hey, like it's gonna take a while for people to get set. So like if that happens again, like be ready, don't get yourself set too early, and that way you'll kind of keep that rhythm. And then obviously it kind of worked out. I mean, drilled a couple more field goals, hit a couple more extra points, and looked good the rest of the way, which is nice. So
Which it's exciting.
man.
And they said they love his mechanics and stuff like that. So
yeah,
they kept him for a reason. I did think they might have cut the other kicker a little earlier, and they really gave him no competition. But hey, it's looking good right now.
It worked
so
out.
We'll take it.
Yeah, man. So next game is this Sunday against the Jets, the other New York team, which kind of leads us into our next. Yeah, there it is, kind of in shambles. So it kind of leads us to our next game that we want to talk about. So last night, Monday Night Football, was Bills Jets in New York City. Jets won 22-16 off of a last second, or I guess a pick six in overtime by undrafted free agent Xavier Gibson from Stephen F. Austin. If you didn't know that, or it was a punt return. Sorry, punt return. Yeah,
but that's a fair. Yeah.
So, Aaron Rodgers, like I kind of already mentioned it early in the day, but is out for the season with a torn Achilles, which is pretty brutal. What are some of your thoughts on the game? I didn't really have a chance to watch it. I was busy and I was keeping up with it through like texts and stuff like that, and kind of getting on Twitter. But what did I know you were kind of tuned in. So what do you think? What were we thinking about the Bills and Jets and how what we can expect next week?
For sure. I don't think I mean, I consider myself a hater. I'm a pretty big hater. I was a Josh Allen fan.
As you should be.
Nothing like I was like up on him. He's cool and all, but then he's now dating Haley Steinfeld, if you know who that is. Kind of pissed that he's with her, but it's okay. And clearly, it's not working for him. Shambles with the turnover game. He just tries to do too much, in my opinion. And you clearly saw that last night. I was okay with the first interception. It was third down, and he just heaved it. And technically, it was basically a punt. So he was like, you know what? They picked it up in like the inside of their 10. So it's basically a punt. Same thing. So it was okay. Yeah. It was maybe you get a PI. So that was smart on his part. But then the second and third one, I can't give. Like he's just trying to do way too much, especially on the fumble. I mean, it looked like a good snap. It was right at his chest. It just went through his hands, and then he tries to pick it up and just gets smacked again, drops it. But he just didn't look good yesterday. Stephon Diggs got his catches, got his yards. He looked phenomenal as always. But I feel like this Bills team might be in shambles. Like I said, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of like Josh Allen haters out there. I kind of was surprised about it and didn't realize it, but there's been a bunch of stuff like going around like, oh, if Dak Prescott has this game, like it's all over. He's getting grilled on social media, or he's getting grilled on ESPN. And like since week 1 of last year, and this is including playoffs, and then last night, he's had 20 interceptions and 16 fumbles, so 36 turnovers in basically, let's just call it 20 games, which is just unbelievable. And yeah, I mean, Dak threw a decent amount of interceptions last year, but like still, like Josh Allen has like 80 something turnovers since he was drafted.
I think he has the most turnovers since he joined the league. Yeah, like he leads the league in turnovers.
I think it was in 2018. Like that's just like, if that was, there's so much discourse on Dak Prescott, and he can't control, like can't keep hold of the ball, can't do this. Like, why isn't Josh? If Josh Allen was in a Cowboys uniform, he'd be getting vilified.
I just want the same treatment. That's all I asked for.
That's it.
That's asked for the same treatment, and it's NFL. That's their guy. I hate it. They changed the overtime rules just because of him, so he wouldn't cry and he lose in regular time.
They're over 5. They're over 5 in overtime since they changed the rules for them.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make any sense.
I'm not gonna say that I was happy. I mean, but I was happy. It was a good Monday night. And Diggs, I mean, he wasn't kind of happy throughout the offseason. We clearly saw that. We saw some speculation with the Cowboys being involved, maybe, blah, blah, blah.
Come home to Dallas, baby. Come home to Dallas.
Come play with your little bro. You were watching him.
Come on.
Come on, bro. But that's what I saw in
I'm
the
not gonna
Jets.
say no.
Running back situation. I know that was kind of tough. I had Brees
Yeah,
Hall on my fantasy team, and I just didn't know what to expect yet. Like a bunch of teams in week one with running
yeah,
backs and stuff like that. But Brees Hall looks so good. There was that one run. I don't know if you saw his explosive run. It
yeah. It
was a
was like
second
80
carry.
something. Yeah,
Yeah, healthy Brees Hall has taken that to the crib, but you can
yeah.
clearly tell he's still working there to get 100%. But God, he looks so good again. And then,
I love Brees Hall. I loved him. I had him last
yeah,
year,
and
and
I
I
loved
was
him
like,
last year.
I was
Devastated.
devastated when
Yeah,
he
when he
tore his
got hurt.
ACL, and I was like,
Devastated.
that's why I was like, I didn't draft him this year. I was like, he's coming off an ACL. It might take him a little bit to get up to speed. Lo and behold, he
And with
just rips
Dalvin
off an
Cook joining the
80-yard run.
team,
Yeah, exactly. If Dalvin Cook wasn't there, I would have drafted him. But like all of a sudden, he rips off an 80-yard run, and he's doing all right.
yeah, 2 carries, he was already over 100 yards.
Yeah, that was
So
just
I
like
knew
last year too.
I know I got him just for an investment, like deep there. They even said it like deeper down the stretch. He's definitely going to be our main back whenever we don't want to rush into it, which is beautiful. I love that.
Yeah,
And then Zach Wilson. I mean, I don't know how I think the Bills lost that game. You can't say the Jets won it
yeah.
if you can understand that statement.
Zach Wilson
The
wasn't
Bills
like,
lost that game.
yeah.
They lost
Zach
that
Wilson
game. They
wasn't
get the ball in the
fantastic.
first half. Get the ball get the ball after OT, so they have the way to win the game, and still can't do that. And Josh Allen looked bad, like I said. I think the Cowboys are going to feast on the Jets next week. We open up as 10.5 favorites. We'll preview that here after these games, but yeah, I mean their O-line didn't look so great. They have former Cowboy Connor McGovern. He was getting cooked, and I saw some holding calls, false starts, whatever, you name it.
And he was talking shit about he was talking shit during the offseason about the offensive line coaching at the Cowboys, if I'm correct. And he's like, "Oh
I don't
yeah,
want to hear it, bro. We have
ever since
Hall
I
of
moved to the
Famers
Jets,
in our line,
I was like, okay, dude, yeah."
Yeah.
And then I hope we cook them this week. I really do. I hope it's another beatdown, and just keep going. Yeah. So that's that. I think. A couple other games. I guess one more game that I was kind of interested in that was kind of probably the best game of the week was the Miami LA Chargers game. Dolphins ended up winning.
That was so
sad. I did too. I didn't have a chance to see it, but there's a couple points that I want to talk about. Is it was obviously a high scoring game, and I'm kind of curious if the Dolphins offense can keep this up. And I think that they did this before Tua had his concussion issues last year. They kind of had something similar where I think it was a shootout with the Ravens where their offense was just clicking, firing all cylinders. Tua yesterday threw for 466 yards, 3 tuds. Tyreek had 200 yards receiving with another 3 tuds.
That's insane.
Unbelievable stuff. And it's do you think that the Dolphins kind of have the ability to keep this going throughout the entire year? I think they have a really good coach, and I don't know if they can keep it up the entire season. I don't know if Tua is built like that.
So yes and no. So like you said, in a certain extent, Tua isn't built like that. As in Tua, if he can stay healthy, I think if he stays healthy, they can do it. But that's the problem. He wasn't able to stay healthy last year, so I think it's really going to be based off the health. But I think they can do it.
So you're a Tua.
They can keep it up.
You're part of the Tuanon. You're a part of the Tuanon. Tua, big Tua fan.
That's a name, Tuanon.
Yeah, Tuanon. That's the official fan group of
definitely not.
Tua.
That's terrible.
Okay.
And I didn't know he sounds like a Hispanic Mexican dude when he talks too. I never heard him talk.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Until I was like,
right?
dude, I guess Hawaiians and Mexicans are we're pretty like similar. This, I guess.
Kind of similar, right?
But not that I'm a big fan of his, but I mean, we saw it last year, so it's not that it's a fluke or whatever. And when you got a guy like Tyreek Hill, and clearly speed kills,
can make plays,
and he can do it. And with Jalen Waddle on the other side too.
That's a good point. And I feel like Waddle was pretty quiet most of the time too. And I guess when you have somebody that has 200 yards receiving,
over 200 yards, you might as well keep throwing him the ball.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and then
obviously on the Chargers side, I'm a hater of the Chargers when it comes to Justin Herbert, and then when it comes to specifically their offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. I'm a big Kellen Moore hater. I want to see them fail. Justin Herbert was efficient. I think he had 23 of 33, 228 yards with 1 TD. That's pretty much it. They ran the ball pretty well though, which is good. So I mean, I think they had 40 carries for 230 something yards.
That might be concerning though for fantasy players because They both split carries almost 50-50. It was 51 to 49%. So the
Yeah.
carry split with Eckler and Joshua Kelly. Joshua Kelly was even just as efficient. I don't know if he was. I think it was roughly at 100 yards, but Eckler's gonna be
Yeah, he's
Eckler get
like
the
right there.
receptions. But yeah, no, they both got like 16 carries, I think,
Yeah, it's
or
pretty
close
even.
to there. So it was like that's kind of concerning as in a fantasy perspective, but I guess shows you that's what the way that Kellen Moore's going, and
Yeah.
they also had the final drive of the game to even try to win the game, and they just couldn't do it.
Herbert's not built
So
like that. Just like Josh Allen. Herbert's not built like that. He's a fantasy quarterback.
wow.
That's about it.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what I'm
he is,
saying.
and I think a lot of people there's a difference. A lot of people tend to be like, oh, but in fantasy, dude, but so he's got to be up there, and it's like, you do you, but that's not
Yeah.
how I rank my
Yeah.
players.
That's not how it's gonna be. But yeah, man. Any other games you want to talk about from last week, or do you want to move on to some of the couple games that I picked out that I think are worth watching this weekend?
I think that's about it. I mean, obviously there's more games, but let's get to the other games, and we'll talk about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So, obviously, I picked three games that I think are pretty must watch. That at least I have a pretty vested interest in. So the first one is Thursday Night Football. I think it's gonna be a good matchup. It's Vikings Eagles.
Yeah, it's
Um,
a great Thursday night game.
yeah, it's a great Thursday night game. Eagles, played the Patriots pretty close. Hurts kind of choked up the ball kind of towards the end of the game, tried to give the game to the Patriots. Captain Kirk, I want to see if they bounce back after they had a pretty unfortunate loss to the Bucks and Baker Mayfield. I think the spread
Lost
right
to
now, I
Baker
texted to you this,
Mayfield, bro.
yeah, crazy. So it's in Philly. I want to say the spread is like 7.5.
It's around 7 right now.
7,
Yeah.
yeah. And so one thing that we're going to start doing on our Instagram as a plug is we're going to start kind of
Yep.
putting out some picks, stuff like that of just kind of what we're thinking for games. And this Thursday night game was one that I was pretty confident on, that I think the Vikings with the points, the 7 points. I think 7 points in NFL is just such a big spread. That I think the Vikings are looking good here to cover. I think it'll be close. I think it'll probably be a 3 or 4 point game. Maybe, let's call it like 28-24 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think is probably a good shout, but I think that's going to be a very interesting game to watch. The second
I think
game,
so too.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, yeah, do you have anything on that game?
Yeah, I think so too. I think I'm gonna go opposite on you this one. As bad as the Eagles looked last week, from what I heard, I didn't watch the game, but I just keep hearing that they looked pretty bad. But their defense was pretty good. But I just think that I don't think the Vikings secondary is going to be able to keep up with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. So I think they're going to pretty good. And on top of that, it's prime Kirk, like you said. It's not pretty good, clearly.
I mean, but is Thursday considered prime time? You know what I mean? They always usually put the worst game on.
Yeah, it's the only game, so I think it's prime time. It's the only game on Thursday. The lights are on, so you know you can't do it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
The lights were not on 12, and he still couldn't do it.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know, man. So I don't know. I'm interested in it. I think it'll be a good game, and I think. I mean, I could see it going either way. I mean, I could see the Vikings winning the game. Is the thing.
I think they need to.
They need to win a game. Yeah, I mean, going to start 0-3. I think start 0-2 and then to progress like next week. I think you said next week they play somebody pretty good.
They got the Chargers.
So, I mean, to go 0-3, like that would be a brutal start, and I mean that kind of tanked their season.
It's pretty tough schedule to start off, by the way, but like they should have taken that first week win.
Yeah. So, and then the second game is Seattle in Detroit. That's the noon game. The early games on Sunday. I'm interested in that game because obviously, right, the Lions just beat the Chiefs. And there's a lot of hype around the Lions. Going into the season, I think that they're probably the favorites in the NFC North. And then Seattle, I'm pretty interested in them because they looked pretty good against. Who did they play? There's 38-20, I think. Seattle played somebody in one.
They lost to the. They were the ones that lost to the Rams.
There it is.
So they looked atrocious, actually.
Damn, I'm thinking of somebody else.
I think they only had 1 yard. From what I was listening. No. 1 yard in the second half.
Oh, it's brutal. So I was interested in it because I want to see if I like Geno. I like how they were last year, how they played last year, and I want to see that was it. I wanted to see if they could bounce back and kind of see like are the Lions who they are? Or I mean, if Seattle is a bad team, and the Lions are a team that should be competing for the division. They should be able to kind of run away with this and kind of
it's a
you know
6-point spread right now, starting off for the
yeah.
Lions to cover by 6.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably lay off the spread. I think that it's a bounce back game. It could be a bounce back game for Seattle. Could be a come down game for the Lions. But the Lions have also had a couple extra days of rest. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have an opinion on the spread on that one?
If I were to pick right now, I think I'm gonna stick with the Lions. I think they could cover that.
Yeah, they looked good.
Offense looked good, man. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Reynolds, Laporta seems like a good target for Jared Goff. And they just beat without Kelsey, but they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, and Jared Goff, I think
at Kansas City.
In Kansas City, yeah, and I think Jared Goff is sneaky a good quarterback. I think he's one of those guys that isn't going to do anything too much. But I don't think he's going to really lose you a game. I think that's kind of what you need right now in the NFL, and especially with somebody that the Lions, they play kind of tough, hard-nosed football. They got 2 good running backs, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. I think that's something they kind of need.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some more Gibbs action in that game.
Yeah, that's facts.
That's what everyone's been kind of mad about. So I'm gonna need more of that. Sure. Hopefully, we get to see that.
Yeah, and then the last game we obviously have a vested interest in is the Jets and the Cowboys. It's the afternoon game, 3:25 on Sunday. I think the Cowboys, you said, are like a 9 or a 10 or somewhere around
10.5 right now. Last time I checked, 10.5.
10.5 is a lot. 10.5 is a lot.
It is.
Personally, I am pretty strict about not picking or gambling on a team that I support, so I wouldn't pick this game anyway. But even if I was, I would probably take the Jets plus 10.5, just because that's you got to say that at that point you got to say that the Cowboys are going by 2 touchdowns, which very well they could. I mean, if they played like they did last week, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's the Cowboys. So are they going to be consistent 2 weeks in a row? I mean, they haven't proved it in a while. So I mean, that's
I'm not scared of the defense being able to perform. I think they should be able to eat. And I don't know if they're good. Hopefully, they don't put too much pressure on the defense to try to score those points like they did last week.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you lose this game, if it were to happen, I think, or it gets close, I think it's gonna be on the offense, and clearly 100%. It's gonna be their first test. I think the Jets. I mean, you saw
the Jets have a good defense. The Jets have
really good defense. You had who's the guy that got 3 picks?
Jordan
Whitehead.
Yeah, Jordan Whitehead.
Yeah, he got a hat trick, bro. A picks.
Yeah.
And that's how you got Sauce Gardner.
Yeah. That's just, I mean, you got studs all around, and they do have a good defense. Their head coach is like a defensive coordinator at heart too, so they're obviously going to be defensive focused, and I think they got dogs around. So I'm curious to see how it goes.
If this game, it's going to be battle of defenses. I think it's a really good test for the offense. This might be the game to be like, okay, let's go ahead and check that offense out. Like I said, there wasn't many plays. You saw Kevontae Turpin in the backfield, which was kind of nice. I didn't mind the speed from the get-go. And, I mean, we also saw a bunch of drops from your tight end, but clearly, I forgot what the targets were, but whoever was targeted most was Hendershot, tight end. And he had a couple of drops.
I love Hendershot. Yeah, I'm a Hendershot guy.
Yeah, and he had a couple of drops and
it's tough.
Big plays. It wasn't a big name, obviously, in the stat sheet just because he didn't have any receptions, really. But he was targeting the most, so Dak keeps loving his tight ends no matter who it is. Yeah. So, it's going to be closed. I'm pretty sure if it's raining, it's going to be closed, so there's no excuses on the ball being slippery. So, it's going to be a really good test for the offense, like I said, against a really good Jets defense. So, if we end up losing this game, it's obviously going to be on the offense. I don't think it's going to be on the defense. They should be able to eat because that O-line is not good at all. And Zach Wilson is just no way in hell he beats
He's not him. Zach Wilson's not him at the end of the day. But, yeah, man, that's kind of all for NFL. I mean, you got any final thoughts or anything you want to wrap up the NFL? I'm glad it's back. Glad football season's really here.
Just one more game that I think won't be good, even though I thought it'd be good, but the spread is not there. The Niners are favored 8.5 points against the Rams. I'm just interested to see if the Rams are the real deal with their wide receivers that I'm blanking on because obviously they have some weird-ass last names.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. The guy that was replacing Cooper Kupp. I think he is Hawaiian too.
Yeah, 15 targets.
Crazy.
15 targets. And they had 2 receivers over 100 yards.
Yeah.
But obviously it's the Niner defense. They looked amazing last week. So, and Vegas always knows something. I'm just intrigued to watch that game and see. I mean, it's California teams is always a good thing to watch. And just to see if the Rams are like that against a really tough defense.
Yeah, and I think that the Niners also have a good. They have a good. I mean, they looked pretty good on offense too. I
Purdy
think.
looked good last week. Purdy looked good.
I'm not looking forward to
Brandon
it.
Ayuk was cooking.
Yeah, Ayuk
Looks
was
like that's gonna be
cooking,
his connection. That's gonna be his guy.
and I feel like Debo really didn't even get going, and
Yeah, I mean, he
Debo is a
still dropped
dog
a
too.
solid fantasy performance. I think he had like
Yeah,
5
so
receptions for like 50 yards. So
yeah, it'll be interesting.
yeah,
It'll be interesting. I think that's a good shout. Good shout. So I
yeah,
don't
just
know,
to
man.
watch and see. It could be a blowout easily
Yeah,
again.
yeah. Who knows? Maybe the Rams lose or Rams win.
See,
Could be that kind of win.
now we're talking a real test.
Would be
But
necessary.
I think it's time to go to school. It's time to hit the books.
All
How
right,
about
yeah,
that?
let's go to school, hit the books. Yeah, so we're kind of, if you haven't noticed, guys, we're kind of reshaping kind of a little bit of how we're doing things, and like I said, constant things moving. So
Yep.
I'm always gonna hit on the TCU game, and then I'm gonna hit on a couple things quickly, just a couple quick notes, and then kind of look forward ahead. So TCU won 41-6 over Nickel State. I mean, it's kind of what you could do against a like an FCS opponent. So I think TCU was pretty efficient. They did what they needed to do. Got some young guys in. I was pretty concerned because the starters played until the fourth quarter, and you kind of would hope that you get some of the bugs out against Colorado the week before. Set the starters early in the third quarter and let the young guys kind of get some experience, but didn't work out that way. But at the end of the day, you took care of business, did what you needed to do. I mean, you won by 35, so whatever, man. It is what it is. So one thing that I was watching was that our offensive line didn't really click. Couldn't get some of the rushing lanes and stuff like that we had against Colorado. I think against Colorado we had our Amani Bailey, our starting running back, ran for like 160 yards. This week it was like 60 maybe. So you're obviously not going to do that. But I mean, against going from Colorado, who's a top 20 team now, to Nickel State, who's an FCS team, kind of concerning. So something to keep an eye on. I was really high on TCU kind of coming in the season, but now I think I've come a lot more down to earth on the team. So I don't know, man. We'll kind of see how it is. They play Houston this week in Houston at 7 p.m. So it's Houston's first game in the Big 12 against an opponent. TCU obviously just made the national championship last year and had a high profile game. It's Colorado already, so I know they're going to be ready, and I think it's going to be a good test for TCU, and hopefully they take care of business. I think TCU is favored by 6, so
Oh wow, yeah, pretty close.
I think it'll be I think taking Houston with the points. Assuming I would take TCU money line, but Houston with the points. I think it's going to be like a 5-point game, something of that nature. I think it'll be tight. I think Houston just came off of a double overtime loss to Rice, which was kind of shocking. But yeah, man, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's TCU. Really nothing too crazy. I mean, not a lot to talk about. It wasn't that.
You're not gonna make
impressive
that
of a
trip
game.
down there to Houston?
I am actually. Yeah, I'll be in the stands, so I'll be there.
I was about to say, there's
Got
no
some
way you're not at
tickets,
that game.
Yeah, so I'll be at the game. So I'm
Is
pretty
Lauren gonna
pumped.
be there
We'll see how
too?
it goes. Yeah, Lo will be there. So
Okay,
it'll be the
cool.
first time we get to go down to Houston to go see her too, which kind of knocks out a couple things at once. So I'm pretty pumped. It'll
Did
be a
you
good
go
time.
for her to visit her finally, or are you going for the king?
Yeah. I went to go visit her. That's where we're going.
What are the odds, bro? That they're playing
What
U
are
of H,
the
right?
odds? I would have never known.
And you had tickets. What?
Yeah, what? Yeah, and then the next game, kind of the marquee game of the week was, and I talked about it last week, but it was Texas Alabama. Time Texas ranked number 11, Alabama number 3. Fun fact: this was the only college game that I got wrong of the 3 that I talked about last week. So
yeah, you did. I was listening to it again, and I was like, "Hey, you said Alabama's going to run away with it, maybe."
Yeah.
But hey, Texas did it, bro.
Texas did it. They might be back. They
might
need
be back.
a couple. They might be back. They need a couple more wins, but it's a really, really promising result if I was a Texas fan. To go into that environment. Obviously, right, they're transitioning to the SEC next year. So Quinn Ewers, their quarterback, he absolutely balled out, made some big time throws. I think I saw a story before the game that an Alabama player claimed that he went into their locker room and basically like, hey, like, I'll be ready to deal with me all game. Like just talking to shit. And I mean, lo and behold, he goes out, I think like 60-something% completion percentage. Throws for 350 and 3 tuds with no picks. I mean, Texas has obviously, right, like a reason why people were so high on Texas coming in was that they have athletes all around, and I mean, obviously Texas recruits because they have that big name. But I mean, their
Mhm.
receiving core is just ridiculous. Javion Sanders had 115 yards. A.D. Mitchell had 78 yards and 2 tuds. Xavier Worthy had 75 yards and a tud. Like, they have some dogs that are just going to go, and they're gonna make plays when you need them to make plays. And this could be a really, really special season for Texas, and it could finally kind of put them back on the big stage. But they have to prove it is the thing. So this was kind of the first step in it, and this is just a story to monitor and throughout class as the rest of the semester progresses. You know what I mean? Talking about Alabama now, obviously they lose by 10. It's their first home non-conference game loss since 2007.
Wow.
So what is that? 16 years that they haven't lost a home game in non-conference. And it's kind of crazy. So, there's a lot of people that have been talking, Alabama necessarily doesn't have the weapons that they've had in previous years. They haven't really developed a quarterback. I know, their past quarterbacks have been, Jalen Hurts, Tua, Mac Jones, and then Bryce Young before that. But like, all those guys are pretty high rated guys, and were around for a long time. And now they have, I think his name is Jalen Milroe, and just it's not the same dog that they've had in the past. So if I was an Alabama fan, I'd be worried. I think that they're a good team and they still have that talent, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But I don't know. I don't think it's not a national championship kind of season for Alabama. And, they got to kind of scrape to hopefully get that 8-10 win mark, which is kind of a crazy thing. So like I said, I think Texas has a chance to have a really special season. They have a really easy schedule, which is kind of BS.
And that's what I was hearing today, that they have a pretty easy schedule.
They play some good teams like Kansas. They play Kansas. Kansas is a really good team. They have a really good quarterback. Texas gets them at home. They play OU every year, and that's neutral site, so it is what it is. But they also play Kansas State at home. They play TCU on the road, but like TCU is really not like what everybody was expecting coming into the season.
Mhm.
And then Tech, who was like another dark horse, which we're about to get into Tech, like they, instead of playing them in Lubbock, they play them at Texas. So like I said, just a lot of favorable scheduling, and in their last season coming into last season before they leave for the SEC, they have a really good shot at having something really special, which is not ideal because it's like the evil empire down there in Texas.
They need something, right? Like, it's been a while.
Yeah, 2009 last conference championship. So tough. Anyway, and then kind of moving on, the other big game that I'd also kind of talked about was Oregon Texas Tech, which this one I almost got this one dead on the money if you look back on it. So I said Oregon was probably going to win a close game by about 7 points. I said 4 to 7 points. Ended up Oregon ends up winning. Oregon ends up winning 38-30. Close game. It was 31-30. Texas Tech had the ball going in the fourth quarter, time winding down. Their quarterback, Tyler Shuck, kept him in the game. He ended up having like 280 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, but he had 3 picks. He also had 100 yards on the ground running, which is pretty crazy. But just made some mistakes that kind of cost him the game, and he threw an interception that was a pick 6 that basically sealed the game for Oregon. So it ended up being 38-30. Bo Nix, Oregon's quarterback, balled out. I think he had 360 yards, 2 tuds, another 50 or so yards on the ground. Like, I think that Oregon's a really good team. Kind of proved it that they can make a big win on a big stage. One thing about Tech that I'm interested in is they're probably the best 0-2 team in the country. They have a lot of talent. They have a lot of studs, and they are a really good team. They have a good coach. They play the game well, but they're 0-2, so that's obviously not a good start. And looking at the rest of their schedule, they have a good shot if they get hot and get rolling and get confident. They can end up 9-3, but then also like there's a very, very real scenario that they could go 5-7. So 5-7, miss a bowl game, and then like that's just a major disappointment because they had so much hype coming into the season that like people were picking them to go to Arlington for the Big 12 championship, and to not even make a bowl game would just be an extreme disappointment. So they're a team that really needs wins, and they kind of need wins fast, and they kind of need to string some together. So I'm interested to see how that goes, and another storyline to watch in the Big 12. And then just the final two games I want to look back on. We had kind of talked about the Ole Miss Tulane game last week. Ole Miss ends up winning 37-20, which I think I said kind of similar. I think that was going to be like a 7 to 10 point game, but Ole Miss was going to pull it out, which they did. But kind of a shame because Tulane's starting quarterback didn't even get to play the game. He was hurt. I think he got hurt in the game before, so never would have known. But I think it was an impressive decision or impressive result for Tulane, given that they hung around with Ole Miss up until the end of the game with a backup quarterback that they played well. They're a really well coached team, and they really do have a chance to be that Group of 5 team that gets a bid to one of the New Year's Six bowls. So, and then on Ole Miss's side, they probably should have been a little bit more ahead and just didn't really make a ton of plays until right when they needed to, which is good. I mean, Lane Kiffin's a good coach, but I'm interested to kind of see how they do coming up the rest of the season. They have a really tough stretch coming up. I don't remember. I think it's like 3 games back to back that I think it's like Georgia Tech, Arkansas's in there, and then maybe Alabama or something like that really is going to kind of define their season. So, I mean, if you go 5-0 through that stretch and you beat, you're riding high, I mean, there's no telling what they could do in the West, but it's going to be interesting, and they very well could go from a team that is has everything in front of you to like, oh man, like you're kind of scrounging to make a big play and kind of get back and going. And then the last game in the review was Miami A&M. A&M ended up losing by 15 to Miami, and Miami kind of one of those old school powers that might be back. Something to keep an eye on. Their quarterback Tyler Van Dyke, just like crazy stat line, 375 yards, 5 tuds. They have some big games coming up in the ACC against Georgia Tech, Georgia Tech's a really good team with a lot of really good transfers. North Carolina, which is, they have one of the top 3 quarterback prospects in their team, and then Clemson's a traditional power, so they could be good. And then A&M kind of continues to disappoint in the big stage, can't get wins when they need it. Kind of the story of A&M's life under Jimbo Fisher, so they really need to get back on track soon. And they have three pretty tough road games against Tennessee, Ole Miss, and LSU this season, so they're going to have to kind of figure something out, and they have to win 8 games this year, because if they don't, their head coaches, they're going to start getting that oil money pulled together, and they're going to find a way to fire Jimbo Fisher. And I don't know if you know this or not, but his buyout in his contracts is like $80-something million, which is
My God,
it's just unbelievable money that he's like committed to, and so they're kind of screwed. So either they gotta win some games, or some donors are gonna have to start giving some money up. But yeah, man, that was kind of the week in review. There's 4 games that I was pretty excited on looking at the slate this weekend, to kind of give a couple picks on and kind of keep it rolling. First one was Minnesota at North Carolina. I think that's going to be a really good test for both teams to kind of see where they are and see what team is for real. North Carolina has that big win against Clemson at the beginning of the season, but Minnesota's like a really good Big Ten team. They have a really good run game. Big Ten teams kind of play gritty. PJ Fleck is their head coach, and I want to say that North Carolina is the favorite here by maybe 6-7, somewhere in that range. But I think that Minnesota's going to upset them. I think that their run game is kind of something that's going to keep the ball out of the hands of North Carolina. Drake May and North Carolina almost lost to Appalachian State this week, so kind of just to see how that goes. So I think Minnesota's going to upset them by 3. Second game involves another Big Ten team. It's Washington at Michigan State. Michigan State has a lot of kind of turmoil going on with their head coach. Just got put on like leave, or he got fired, something of that nature, for like a sexual harassment kind of deal.
I did hear about that.
Yeah, so I think that Michigan State has a good defense, but their offense isn't very good, whereas like Washington has a really, really good offense. Their defense, is like a Pac-12 defense, not fantastic. But, is that all the off the field stuff going to be something that's, kind of distracting Michigan State? Who knows? I don't know, man. I think Washington is favored by 8 or 9, but I think Washington wins this game pretty comfortably by like 2 scores, so 14 points, 17 points, 10 points, somewhere in that nature. In the last 2 games, so the second to last one is BYU Arkansas, 2-0 teams. I'm really interested to see how BYU kind of fares in a conference stadium like Arkansas. Arkansas is a pretty hostile environment, and they haven't played anybody like Arkansas and KJ Jefferson, who's their quarterback. I think our KJ Jefferson is kind of a problem when it comes to opponent's defenses. He can really run the ball. He makes plays. I think Arkansas wins this game by 10, and then my first ever lock of the week is Kansas State, Missouri. So I think Kansas State's a really, really good football team. They're well coached. They haven't really played anybody yet, but they still have a lot of returning pieces from last year. I think that their head coach Chris Kleiman is a dog. I think their quarterback's a good player. Kansas State right now, the line is Kansas State is favored by 5. I know it's a road game in Missouri, but I think that Kansas State easily hits that 5-point differential. So yeah, man, lock of the week, Kansas State by 5. Book it. I think that's it. You can shut the notebooks. That's the end of class. Austin University is finished. So if you want to transition, get gloves, get ready.
Let's do it, man.
Outfield.
Yeah, I'll do a little more of a plug. So yeah, Austin's lock of the week. You will be seeing that on Instagram. Follow us there, Austin_and_Oli. We put some locks for Thursday night football for sure. Some player props, money line for spread, and then Friday we'll try to get those college football picks out. I'm new to this college football thing, so maybe that's even better because I think when you know more of the teams, it's kind of bad for you. I think, so I'm gonna just go in there, pick some lines, and I say, okay, this looks pretty decent to me. And then for Sunday night or for Sunday football games, obviously we'll do the same thing. So just a little plug right there, right before.
Be on the lookout. Be on the lookout.
Right out to the diamond. All right, we're going to start off with the Rangers, and I'll push in a couple like side notes that I was able to find around the MLB. So series win over the A's, just like UT. I think the Texas Rangers are back. They just might be back.
I think so too.
While we were gone,
and they won today.
And they won today, and the Astros lost today. I think that puts us like one game behind the division.
Yeah,
now.
One game back.
Why are they doing this to us? Why are they trying to get us excited?
They just, I think that they needed to, bring us down. They had to, we were riding so high. And
they said, we're going to go down. We're going to go down.
We're going to go down. You got to take a couple steps back before you can take a couple steps forward.
Down.
You know what I mean? So they take us to the bottom. They really got to humble
a lot of steps backward, bro.
Really got to humble you.
Yeah, while we were gone, pretty sure while we were gone, it was Evan Carter got called up, right?
Yeah, he got called up the day after we posted.
Yeah, so Evan Carter gets called up that Friday and got his first big league homer last game against Toronto on the Monday game. And didn't start today, so what I was able to find out that it's been 2 games now, I think, that he doesn't start. And it's just because he apparently just sucks against left-handed hitters or left-handed pitchers. So they said this is not the right time to put him out there and hope for the best. Like, clearly the numbers show that he's not good against left-handed hitters. And he pitched hit today, got a walk, and stole a base and scored a run. No. So still being good. He's got a couple walks, being on base, and still slugging. He's hitting some pretty nice. I think he's batting around 300 right now. A couple of bats. So maybe that's what the team needed.
Yeah, I saw something today too, that was he's seen like 50-something pitches in his plate appearances before today. Mm-hmm. And I think of those pitches he's had, I think it's 28 pitches outside of the zone. Of those pitches, he's swung and missed at exactly one of those pitches. And then the other one that he swung at was a single that he got in. So very, very good plate. Really good plate discipline. I mean, for somebody he literally just turned 21 years old. So,
bro, he's 21. Exactly.
Yeah.
He's 21. Same age as Wyatt Langford.
21. Yeah, unbelievable. And I think that's just impressive. I think he's been a kind of a breath of fresh air, which is what they may have needed, Yesterday made an amazing outfield assist.
Also has a fucking get that play at home. On top of that.
Just a rocket strapped to his arm. So it's just, I don't want to get too high, don't want to get too low, but creeping back up.
No,
The
for
hype
sure.
train might be there.
I want to say that's 4 in a row
So,
now. Yeah, 4 in a row from
4 in a row.
Saturday,
4 in
Sunday,
a row.
Monday, Tuesday.
I didn't
Getting
want
up
to.
there, man. And the Astros are bad at home again. They lost the series to the A's. The Rangers never
Crazy.
lost a series to the A's this year. They did lose a couple games,
Almost
but they
did.
did not lose a series to the A's. This would be awesome if we're able to come back, like I said. I'll throw in the Astros real quick since we're talking about them.
Yeah.
According to Brian McTaggart on MLB, according to stats, it is the first time in MLB history a team at least 50 games under 500 shut out the defending World Series champions on the road.
That's so crazy.
And that was Monday. The A's
Love
shut
that.
out the Houston Astros at home.
Good. It's fantastic.
Exactly. I love it, bro. I love it. Sticking with them, I guess we're going to Toronto. 2 more games. Some bad news. Whenever this is going to be out, obviously they're going to play the Wednesday game, but Max Scherzer did leave early today. He was pitching a gem up into the 6th inning, and he feels some discomfort in his tricep, is from what we're seeing. So all the lip readers out there, he said it's in my tricep, but it says tricep spasms, right? Is what they said?
Yeah, is what they said. So, hopefully it's only that.
Yeah, he's been fighting through a lot. He's even said it's like, yeah, I'm kind of injured right now, but I know I can do it. And maybe that keeps him on a short leash. But also things with pitchers, we saw John Gregg get pulled early. Bruce Bochy is not having that crap. If you're looking bad, boom, you're out. We got 3 starting pitchers, if you think about it, on the bullpen. You got Cody Bradford that they've been using for 1-inning situations, but he could definitely pitch longer than that. Martin Perez has been looking pretty good. And Heaney came in that game and got like 6 strikeouts, I think, like almost 3 innings, I think, of relief.
Yeah.
Something like that. And that's 3 left-handed pitchers, but they have been looking pretty good. So I'm not saying everything is fixed, but the offense has been raking as of late. They scored 10 on Monday. Grand slam from Big Daddy
Jonah
Heim.
Heim. And I think that we might be getting Josh Young back. Thank goodness.
By the end of this week is from what I heard.
By the end of the week, we can get that bum Josh Smith out of the lineup.
He hasn't been terrible. He's taking over Ezekiel because Ezekiel's been kind of the bum. Yeah, defensively, Josh Smith hasn't looked bad, and he pinch hit today and got a double.
He had a big error the other day though, this weekend.
I think I know what you're talking about. It was kind of a nasty spin on it. I don't know if that's what you're talking about.
It doesn't fit my agenda. It doesn't fit my agenda. So
how you saw it is that he's six and he's a bum.
He's a bum. Yeah, he's a bum. Get him out.
He hasn't been bad, and I feel bad for Ezekiel. I don't know what he did today, but I don't think he got on base. So he's been struggling a little bit. So yeah, Josh Young coming back is going to be massive. And I even sent you the lineup. I was like, when Adolis comes back or whatever, I want to keep Garver in that 4th hole.
In that 4th
as
spot.
the RBI guy. He got, I think, 3 walks last night. On the Monday game, he got 3 walks.
Yeah, something of that nature. He's really been raking since time went out.
He's been good and
3 walks yesterday.
Yeah, he's been good and just getting on base. And pitchers are scared of him. They're not pitching him in really much, obviously with those walks. And Adolis, he's 100 RBIs, 2nd in the AL. But again, I'm not the hater. I'm not the biggest fan of Adolis.
You are a hater. You're a hater of him. Yeah,
I'm not calling him a bum like Josh Smith, though. I'm not calling him a bum like Josh Smith.
But there's levels. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I just think Adolis is it pisses me off on how much he strikes out. Okay, it can be like Kyle Schwarber. I think he has more strikeouts than singles this year, or something like that. But he's hitting bombs though.
That's fair.
So, and I guess Adolis is too. But we're gonna have somewhat of a problem in the lineup once he gets back. Because what are you gonna do? Do you DH Adolis because he may not be able to run at full capacity? But if you DH, what are you gonna do with Garver? I don't know. We was cooking it up, so maybe Bruce Bochy obviously knows what he's got to do. But if he needs help, he can come to me because I thought I cooked up a pretty good lineup.
Yeah, you got a good lineup.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that some other time, like I said. But just know, I got it cooked up. Some fun season stats. Did you want to talk about these? I saw you write these down.
Yeah. So I was just kind of messing around on Baseball Reference, and I was kind of impressed with the duality of the Rangers. So the longest win streak of the season, 8 games. Also, longest losing streak of the season, 8 games. They've had 34 comeback wins. They've had 34 blown leads. So just like stuff like that's pretty interesting. One thing that was pretty alarming to me was that we've had 4 walk-off wins, which is cool, but we've had 4 walk-off losses. So just kind of like late game situations, which kind of have been more recently than anything. I think it was like 3 in the last like maybe 2 weeks or last month for sure that we had some walk-off losses.
That I've heard.
You can kind of see, first half record we were 52-39. Currently in the second half, since the All-Star break, 27 or I guess now 28-25.
Oh yeah.
So not as hot as we once were, but maybe we're kind of heating back up. July, I was kind of shocked because it felt like August was when we're pretty piss poor. We were playing a lot of really bad baseball, but we actually had a losing record in July. We were 11-13 in July, went 15-12 in August, and in September we're now 5-6. So, I just thought there were some fun stats. I didn't really, there's really nothing to take from it. I was just kind of shocked that 8-game win streak, 8-game losing streak, and then same number of comeback wins and blown leads was kind of interesting to me. So just some fun stats about the Rangers. I don't know. We'll kind of see what it means. Maybe hopefully we kind of keep piling on. Maybe let's get another win streak going.
Man, they're getting, like I said, they're getting me excited again. I don't like this. I don't like it. I was saying that we weren't going to make playoffs, and I was like, screw it. But then today I was like, nah, fuck that, bro. I'm on playoffs. I don't care if we lose. We're not favorites, but I need playoff baseball. I need October baseball. I need to watch it.
Yeah,
maybe we get hot.
We need playoff baseball.
Maybe we get hot. I want to see Corey Seager in the playoffs. I want to see Josh Young in the playoffs. I want to see Evan Carter in the playoffs. Oh my god, I'm like, I want to see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, Corey Seager has really brought me back to life.
We need it.
Will bring me back to life. I'm just like, I need to see Corey. He got his 1,000th hit today, career 1K.
1,000th hit, yeah.
Yeah, 1,000 hit today. He also got his career high in RBIs today or yesterday. So that just shows you that.
Oh, sweet.
Even though he's been missing a lot of games, but I think this is one of the healthiest seasons he's ever had. Clearly, because he's playing more.
He's also
the hottest.
Yeah, he's also the AL leader in doubles now, and tied for second. Tied for second in entire MLB in doubles behind. I think it's Acuna.
I was going to say he took over Lowe then, because I think Lowe was leading the league in doubles.
Yeah. So. Pretty cool facts, which I thought was pretty neat.
Yeah, and then just a little preview to our road trip. We're going to go to Cleveland this weekend for a little quick 3-day trip. They're 3-7 in the last 10 games. As everyone's is recorded. We'll see the GOAT Lucas Giolito on Friday.
That's big time. Love to hear it.
And then we'll come back home for 3 games against Boston. They're 4-6 in the last 10 as we're recording this. They're both basically at the wild card spot. They were really fighting for it at trade deadline. Clearly, we saw that with the Guardians and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they're both out of it. I think Cleveland's maybe I think 12 and a half games now. 12 and a half, and I think Boston's 6.5, 7.5.
Yeah,
so they're clearly
kind
of out of it, unless it's just turn it up. So I think the Rangers should really look to take care of right here, depending how the starting pitching is, and if the offense stays hot. At the beginning of the season, this is not a team you want to be seeing.
No,
and the lineup's just looking really good right now. Leody Taveras is starting to get a little bit better now. I think he's seeing that there's some competition.
He's Evan Carter coming out.
He's like, okay, let me do a little something. And then we'll push it out to a little bit around the diamond. Again, Angels are poverty, but what's new? If you saw the news, they're reportedly okay with trading Mike Trout if Mike Trout desires to.
Really? I don't know what his. Oh wow.
Yeah, I didn't know what his draft stock's going to be, his trade stock, because he's got that fat ass contract. I think 7 more years. So he's 38. Can't stay healthy. But they said hey, and also what I heard of, so he can't get traded. He has a no trade clause because of some MLB service time if you've been in the league for at least 10 years with the same team or 5 years or something like that. So he has to agree to the trade. Will it come to the Rangers? I don't know. Is there a spot for him? I don't know.
My god. Okay, dude. Okay.
I'm just throwing it out there. We love to trade or pay people that get hurt. We saw that. Jacob deGrom. So I'm just saying. Fair. Cy Young or Chris Young has really done it. He's obviously showing us that he wants to win, but clearly not enough for not trading for enough bullpen arms. But talking about bullpen arms, Dodgers call up Kyle Hurt. He was the minor league leader in strikeout rate. He's 25. He had 145 strikeouts in 88 and 1/3 innings between AA and AAA this season, and pitches in the high 90s and has 3 other strikeout pitches. So clearly with Odias, I don't know if you saw it, I think they cleared out his locker already, covered up all the
Good
murals around Dodger Stadium. So yeah, he's cooked.
He's cooked.
He's fucked up.
As you
He's
should
fucked
be.
up.
As
He should be, exactly. So this is just sad, obviously. And on top of that, Mexican, so that just hurts even more. Gives us a bad rep, and it's just like, come on, man. But Dodgers obviously still trying to make that playoff push. Their offense is amazing, but their pitching has been god awful. Kershaw is barely able to pass through that. Yeah, he's like, I mean, my retiring in the season when I heard, but I was saying that he's going to come and suit up for a postseason contract with the Rangers this year. It's from what I heard what he wants to do.
Come on,
just right? Come on, join the train, bro. We need some arms.
Hey,
Be our closer.
Come home.
Be our closer. Be our closer.
Come.
Yeah, and then one last thing. Do you remember Oneil Cruz?
Yeah, Oneil Cruz. Yeah.
For the Pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about him.
Yeah, what happened to him?
Kind of forgot about him. If you remember, he was injured early April. He had an ugly slide going into home against the White Sox. He maybe should not slid like that, but really messed up his leg or knee, and it caused like a big brawl between the White Sox and the Pirates because obviously that's their guy.
Yeah.
So I totally forgot about him. I
feel like when like Ellie De La Cruz came up for the Reds, like they're kind of like the same build, like just like freak athletes, like just
I didn't
rockets,
like bring Ellie De La Cruz in, but I was like, I think I was mixing up Ellie De La Cruz with Oneil.
I was too. Yeah, I completely forgot about him.
Cruz, come on, and like same infield, and like they just throw heat across the diamond. Like, can you blame us? But you brought it up, not me. You brought it up, not me. I'm gonna just put that like that. But his season's gonna be done. He's not coming back. Clearly, Pirates out of the postseason. They want him healthy for next year for their future. Yeah. So smart as them. But like I was reading the news and I was like, oh crap, Oneil Cruz. Like I just
forgot about him.
I mean, I forgot about the whole Pirates organization. I kind of forgot about them. Clearly,
remember when they were hot at the beginning of the season?
I was gonna say they're hot start. Yeah,
they were hot at the beginning of the season. I thought they were coming back to playoff baseball, but that was April.
I think they're really close. I'm not sure if they're at the same level or like same like pace and progression like they are with the Orioles, but you can kind of compare the two. I think they're going in the right direction. They got their pitching staff getting they got Mitch Keller, Bednar in the bullpen as their closer, and Boskins maybe soon, maybe next year. Yeah. So they're going in the right direction again. Oneil Cruz and stuff like that. So we saw some good stuff with them. So yeah, man, that's all I got.
That's good.
For baseball.
Man. Cool. You got anybody that doesn't know ball? I know I do.
I think you do, and you're really excited because it's not you this week.
I'm pumped. It's not me.
Let's hear it.
Colin Cowherd, you don't know ball. That's how it is.
Hey, but what's new?
Yeah. So if you didn't know, he went 0-5 on all his picks this week. It was a pretty good sweep. So I mean, I guess he went 100% if you think about it a certain way. He had Steelers plus 2.5. They lost. Colts plus 4.5. That didn't hit. Patriots plus 4. They lost by 5. Chargers -3. They just completely lost the game. Giants by 3.5. That clearly wasn't even close. So
that's insane. He's such a hater.
Might have to, in the chat, throw a little YDKB to Colin Cowherd because Colin Cowherd does not know ball. It's confirmed. Clearly. So, yeah, man, and then kind of a little bit of last things to round it out. You got a little hot take or anything you wanna give us?
I do. I'm feeling really feisty with this one. And I'll give you some credit for this one. I think you really put it in my perspective, in my rearview mirror. And I don't think it's crazy. But Corey Seager is going to be the AL MVP.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. It makes sense.
Yeah, and with Ohtani being hurt and all, and like, I mean, screw Ohtani, bro. We got to stop glazing that guy. Yeah, he pitches and bats at the same time, okay? Cool. Corey Seager's raking, bro.
Corey Seager's raking.
I think he stays
healthy.
Exactly.
He's healthy right now.
Raking. He got 3 hit games today.
I mean, the Rangers are in playoff contention. I'll tell you what, the Angels aren't.
They're not. And if this injury sidelines them for that long, I think you just got to give it to Corey.
Yeah, and that's why Josh Young has gotten kind of taken out of the Rookie of the Year race. It's the same thing.
Clearly, I think if he stays healthy, he should have won. And I think right now, is it the Red Sox guy, the Japan dude?
Oh yeah,
or is it the Orioles guy?
Yeah, I kind of thought it would be Adley, but I mean,
not Adley. I think Adley Rutschman. He was a rookie last year.
Oh, that's right.
It's Gunnar Henderson.
Yeah, there it is.
Gunnar
there it is.
Henderson was in conversation, and then I want to say his last name's Yoshida.
Okay,
He's an
that sounds
outfielder
right.
for the Red Sox.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
He hits for batting average. It was clear between them two or them three. And I think Joshua was running away with it, but then his injury. So if it's gonna be like
Yeah.
that, let's not
If
give
it's the
Otani
same.
the treatment. He got his MVP last year, clearly,
Yeah.
deserved. But come on, let Corey have one.
The bad thing is I just don't know if the media will do it. I think you're right. I
No,
think
for
they
sure not. I
glaze,
mean,
they
they're
glaze
too busy
Ohtani too
with
much. They love
Otani
it.
just in their mouth, bro. They're too busy with that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, and then kind of moving on to mine. Call me optimistic. Call me like delusional. I was just off the. Yeah, I was just off the. I don't know, man. The Rangers aren't gonna even make the playoffs. They're not gonna do anything good. I think the Rangers are gonna keep getting hot. I think they're gonna win the division. I don't know how. I mean,
yeah.
we're only a game. We're a game back. We're a game back in the division right now. Obviously, I mean, we watched them get swept in person and just play absolutely piss poor. But like, bats are kind of going. Starting
Going is
pitching,
baseball, baby. New day
starting
tomorrow.
pitching, like starting pitching doesn't look that bad. Maybe the bullpen's kind of figuring their stuff out. I think the Rangers have a chance to get hot, win the division.
Not crazy.
So,
and on top of that, Corey Seager's going to win the MVP. Put your bets down.
I like it. But yeah, guys, with that's this episode of Austin and Oli. Thank you guys so much for listening. Yeah, go check out TikTok. Go check out Instagram. All that stuff will kind of be linked in the show description. Ollie, you got any final thoughts? Anything you want to kind of get off your chest?
Football's back, bro. Go Cowboys.
That's it.
Lost in fantasy. Tough Tubbs. One of these guys here lost in fantasy. Not me.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm wearing the crown. 1v1,
Till next time. Just wait.
Right.
But yeah, man.
I'm waiting.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Yeah, it's good to be back. Give us a little feedback. You want to tell us what you guys think.
What you want to hear, what you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Go interact with Instagram. Go interact with TikTok.
Sponsor us.
Ooh, that'd be big time. You want to throw us a little something? We'll
a little ad reads real quick.
We'll slut ourselves out. No problem. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for listening. That's another episode of Austin Oli. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.